Good evening and welcome to BizTech's Personal Finance Show. Today, our focus is on helping you understand cash management solutions that are an alternative to traditional fixed deposit products offered by banks. Versa, the first recognized market operator in the e-services platform space to obtain approval and license from the Securities Commission, is our guest today. Now, Versa is here to give you their insights, and to help us, we have the Chief Executive Officer of Versa, Teoh Wei Xiang, and also the CTO of Versa, Nelson Wong. Nelson and Wei Xiang, welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us on this show, Brian.
Now, Wei Xiang, let's start by you telling us about how both of you started this company and what problem did you identify that needed to be solved?
Yep. So actually, there's another co-founder, but he couldn't make it today. So there's just both of us, the two out of three. So Versa started off as a personal problem statement for myself, which I experienced a couple of years ago, where I started, saving, and I allocated a chunk of my money into fixed deposits. And what I realized is I had, multiple accidents which required me to liquidate my fixed deposit, and I realized that I lost all my yield. So with that problem statement, I felt, as a consumer, although that I understand that this is, fixed deposit, according to regulations, the standard regulations, whenever you withdraw, you do lose the yield. So I was very motivated to actually find another way to actually overcome this flexibility, and hence I actually onboarded the team, which is Nelson and also Richmond as co-founders. Because like all companies, a company in our definition is a group of collective of people who are working towards a social and also commercial goal. So of course I had to bring on co-founders who are equally passionate as me. We are also lucky enough to convince a board, put together a board, and also certain partners to deliver this project as well. So this started off again as a personal problem statement for me, and I'm pleased that now it has actually evolved into a proper product today.
Okay, Wei Xiang, then describe to us the essence of your product and what does it actually do for consumers?
Yeah, sure. So we are basically a digital cash management platform, and what that means is that we provide consumers a fixed deposit-like rates, but with the flexibility of a savings account. So we are built with financial inclusivity in mind for the average, even for the average investor. So what we essentially are doing is we are democratizing money market funds, which is essentially a mutual fund which deals with very low risk assets such as fixed deposits and certain government guarantees. So for us, we are working together with FinTech Asset Management as our CMSL partner, our capital market service license partner, to actually democratize money market funds and also educate the public on the best ways to manage their finance in the modern world.
Okay, what role does FinTech play? Do they have a financial stake in your business, or are they just a strategic partner and with you?
Yeah, currently we are working on a strategic partner basis where they basically our fund provider. So whenever a customer invests into via Versa, it goes into FinTech Asset Management, and we are proud to actually have them as a partner because that actually promotes trust among the users of our platform, having the third largest asset management to actually manage their fund instead of a new fintech company called Versa.
Okay, so essentially the account, and that's how for me as an investor, if I invest in Versa, my money is protected because essentially it resides with FinTech. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that protected in the sense where we have credible partner to manage the funds, but of course protected in terms of certain PIDM, then of course it's not.
Okay, because PIDM, just for our audience, if you put if you put up to 250,000 ringgit in a particular bank and the bank goes under, basically that is insured. So you will get your money back 100%. So this is obviously something that is not covered under PIDF.
That's correct.
Okay, so now let's move on to Nelson. Now let's talk about the technology. Now, how long did you take to develop this product? And what were the main challenges with developing your cash management platform?
Right. Okay. So developing the product. I like to think we started brainstorming about all this this idea and this solution that we have since 2018. Right. We did our market research, we did our initial interviews and groundwork before building the team in 2019, and finally we got incorporated in 2020. All in all, I think it took us about a year in just planning, strategizing, and another 12 to 18 months to development, testing, as well as multiple product iterations before we were finally ready to launch our product.
Okay, so it was a long gestation period.
It was definitely it's been a journey. There were definitely a lot of challenges, especially being a new player in the market. Right? Who would trust these people? Who are these people? Why do I give you money? Right? Our main challenges would revolve around platform security as well as building trust onto the brand name. So on our end, to tackle this, we spared no expense in the efforts to provide the highest level of security we can find, as well as the best user experience for the Versa platform. Of course, together with the help, the guidance and assistance from our partners, Hong Asset Management and the Securities Commission Malaysia, to help us validate this product before it hits the market.
And how long did it take you to get the approval from the Securities Commission?
Wow. I would say that was close to a year.
Okay. Now, Wei Xiang, I've got to ask you, how are Malaysians, especially average investors? So just the average go on the street, a 25-year-old, a 35-year-old who has some extra cash, how are they being able to benefit from your platform?
Yep. Thanks so much for that, Brian. So like what I mentioned earlier, the DNA of Versa is provide inclusivity to the average Joe on the street. So previously, money market funds has always been available to corporates and high net worth individuals. So we are actually taking the role of using technology to fulfill the retail market. How are the investors able to enjoy the convenience through our platform is that we have three core features. Firstly, a low entry barrier. So anyone can start investing from as low as RM1. So apart from that, liquidity. So having cash flow for our users, like what we are calling ourselves a digital cash management product. So having cash flow is also a core key feature for us. So with Versa, users can invest at the same time, withdraw their funds at any time without penalties, versus like the problem statement I mentioned just now, where when I had to withdraw my funds, I had to lose my yield, etc.
Yeah.
So apart from that, we also have a feature where our settlement period is T+1 business day, which means whenever you initiate a withdrawal, it will be in your bank account within 1 business day. So the third core feature, which we believe that is critical for customers' convenience, is that we are connected to most major banks via FBX, so that customers can securely move their money from their bank accounts into Versa.
Okay.
And most importantly, we are also absorbing the cost of FBX, which is we believe that we want our service to be free for all Malaysians. Hence, as opposed to some other fintech companies out there, we absorb the cost of the FBX for the users.
Okay. Yeah. Now, how many users have you signed up so far?
So we have officially launched on 27th of January.
Okay.
About a month and a half. So our target is to not rush into spending too much in terms of acquisition. We wanted to first acquire a pool of early adopters for us to understand behavior and also to understand the customer's perspective. So far, we have attracted about 2,000 early adopters.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm very happy in terms of the team's effort in terms of attracting these 2,000 early adopters. And we are optimistic to see that 41% of our total users have initiated their first transaction. So this is something which we measure clearly because this actually determines the product market fit which we are trying to validate.
Okay, so Wei Xiang, what is your customer profile like from the 2,000 people that you've signed up?
Sure. So our customer base, I would say, I mean, in summary, they are digitally native, age between 25 to 39. This seems to be 52% of our total user base.
Okay.
So we believe this is the age where they are starting to understand savings behavior or have certain life commitments which requires them to start savings. Of course, we also have a portion, which is about 15% of them who are actually online moms and pops, which is very encouraging for us to actually see some and moving some. As we can see, the larger transaction actually comes from this group of users because they probably have a certain amount of savings over the years, which is parked into FD, and hopefully with Versa, they have found a convenient way to also manage their savings. So these three I would say would be the largest segment of our early adopters, and we expect our customer profile to stay consistent as we grow as well.
So Wei Xiang, in terms of total amount under management right now, how much have you hit with these 2,000 users?
I just wanted to take the opportunity to so firstly explain our license first before we are able to ascertain the term asset under management. So for us, we are digital distributors. I mean, our license basically
distribution. Okay.
Basically allows us to distribute our Afin Huang's fund, right? So money that we attract, I would say it would be deposits that flows through the platform, and how much of those deposits becomes AUM would be the more accurate way in terms of describing how we actually define some of our KPIs. So, which is of course the reason why is because we have to respect the regulatory interpretation.
Right. So this is where Afin Huang is
That's correct.
It's an immovable piece of the jigsaw puzzle. It's part of you.
Yeah. So it's very encouraging that within the first 1.5 months we have seen 5 million ringgit. We have actually just hit our 5 million ringgit milestone the other day. So the other day, which is 2 days ago, sorry. So yeah, so hope that answers your question.
Okay, now let's move on to Nelson. Nelson, from a technology standpoint, how does Versa stand out from other digital cash management platforms that are available?
I don't think there are many digital cash management platforms available right now.
Not in Malaysia, but outside.
Yeah, outside. I would say most digital players in Malaysia are focusing on more higher yield products. I think we're looking to start at a more lower risk, lower yield for people who are just starting out to learn, right? So cash management solutions are usually more risk averse, right? The majority of them revolving around money market funds. Yeah. However, I don't think all money market funds are the same, right? And this mainly differs on what is being invested upon, right? What sort of asset class is being held on?
Yes.
Right. So at Versa, our primary focus is to provide a fully digital experience to quickly earn yield from your spare cash with two key points of addressing your liquidity as well as lowest risk possible. Right. With Versa, with our partners at Afin Huang, they've allowed us access to the high quality money market funds. And this money market fund is actually called the Enhanced Deposit Fund. And where this Enhanced Deposit Fund invests in is mainly on making deposits in multiple banks in Malaysia.
Okay.
Right. So technically, instead of putting all your deposits into one bank, right, it's being segregated every single day into all these different banks. Technically, it should reduce the risk level of a bank defaulting. This fund has been around for many years. I think it's since 2005. And last I checked, the current fund size of this fund is about 2.2 billion ringgit. So allowing for a lot of flexibility, a lot of liquidity for our users. I think this has definitely helped us push us upfront to really be compared to the other funds, the other cash management solutions around the world.
So Nelson, what's the technology roadmap and what sort of improvements could we expect from your platform in the near future?
So as I mentioned, I think the main focus here is really how quickly you can get access to your cash, your investments. Right now, we're looking at a 1-day period of withdrawal. We're looking to lower that even further and hopefully down to immediate access. The team is currently working tirelessly with our partners and our regulators to see how we can make this happen. I can't divulge too much information for now, but we hope to release more information about our future changes sometime next quarter.
Okay, now this is an open question for both of you because financial literacy among Malaysians is very poor. Now, this is not an income dependent thing, it's across the board. You even have a lot of high income people, and studies have shown this with Bank Negara and various entities that actually have very poor financial literacy. It's not just isolated among the lower income. What is Versa going to play? What role will Versa play in terms of upskilling Malaysians in terms of financial literacy, especially with regard to cash management?
Nelson, you want to go first?
Sure. I think everyone, especially during this time, is looking towards how to make money work for them. Right? Everyone is looking out. That's why you see the rise in all these digital investment platforms. Right? And I'm not going to name them, but they definitely have grown quite a bit since the pandemic has hit. Right? Unfortunately, as you mentioned, a lot of these new users are not as informed as they should be before making such risks. I think they were all really just attracted to the high yield that was really promised, or by seeing what their friends have been doing, not really taking all this risk into account and then putting most of their money in. And then hopefully not, but some of them have definitely hit, has gotten some losses during when the whole economy has crashed a little bit. So how I see Versa is really an entry point to investment, into managing your money a bit better, right? Instead of putting all your money into one fixed deposit, the fund managers at FinTech are helping us segregate this to lower your risk, to as well, increase your liquidity time period. Where Versa comes in is really, just giving the idea, or just educating the point that money can work for you. It can work for you at low risk. It can gain you yield. It can grow. I think that's the main message that Versa is trying to push out.
Yeah. To add to what Nelson just mentioned, I think where Versa fits in is that we are trying to change the mindset of investment, where I think generally people think that investment is usually high or medium risk. Whereas for us, we want to tell the public that there's actually a class of asset which is suitable for your cash needs, low risk and consistent, which is guided by the deposits rate of Malaysia. So I think for us, where we are looking at is to help these low risk savers firstly be either exposed as their first investment tool via money market funds, or for some of them to convert their savings into an investment which offers them similar amount of liquidity as well. So I think there is specifically where we are focusing on as a cash management product. Yeah.
Now, gentlemen, thank you very much for your insights on cash management and also about Versa.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thanks again for having us.
Now, we've been speaking to Teoh Wei Xiang, Chief Executive Officer of Versa, and Nelson Wong, Chief Technology Officer, on BizTech's Personal Finance Show. I'm Brian Fernandez. Check out www.biztech.asia for business and technology conversation.